Here we go. Welcome everyone. Kyle, did you want to welcome everyone and tell them about all the events we got going on this week first?
Okay.
Kyle, did you want to say something to everybody first? Okay, let's take that as a note. Let's just get started. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about your daily action, what it is you do every day. So I started in this industry almost 13 years ago. And I remember sitting in my office one day going, I just don't know what to do. I'm like stifled with like the inability to figure out what needs to happen first. Have you guys ever been like that where you're just like, I know there's so much I need to do that I'm just going to do nothing, right? We've all been there. So I used to get like that too. When I started in this industry, I had a lot of success and it kind of came fast. And then, but there were times where I would go days doing nothing because I was like, I was successful last month, but I can't even remember what I did because it's like this big like whirlwind, right? So right about 12 years ago, so I'd been in my first company for about 7 or 8 months. And I started to realize that the things I was doing every day was like the same thing every day. And some days it felt I was very successful and it like really exploded my business. And some days I felt like I was doing the same thing I did yesterday, but nothing's happening. So maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, right? So I started writing down just the things that I felt like I was actually doing every day. So for a few weeks, I would just write down, today I did this. I wrote one thing on Facebook. I did this. I did this. And what I found was that it was very consistent. I was doing the same activities over and over and over and over and over. And the more consistent I did them, the more successful I became. So I started to teach and train my team on how to do these same activities. Well, what happened was, you know, it's network marketing. So I would get a lot of people that say they're doing the activities that were probably not. And I would have a lot of people say they're still doing nothing because they're kind of stifled into fear. So I put it in a spreadsheet. And seriously, it's so simple. I still use pen and paper. I'm one of those people. But this is it. This is it. I mean, it's this simple. There are 23 things that I try to do every single day. Now, do I do all 23 things every single day? No, of course I don't. But I try to. And I never sit at my desk and go, I just don't know what to do, because all I got to do is pull out my little list of 23 things to do every single day. And as I do them throughout the day, I put little X's, right? Because I love a to-do list. A to-do list makes me feel accomplished. Even if nothing great happens that day, I feel like something great happened because I finished my list or I came close to finishing. So really what we're going to go through today is that daily checklist. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I've been using this same list that I created 12 years ago. I've been using it for 12 years, every day. I've been at the top 1% of 4 different network marketing companies using this one piece of paper. And it's funny because people always say, oh, you should write a book about how you did it. I'm like, yeah, it would be like a 1-page book because like, this is it. There's not that much more, right? So we're going to go over those action steps. They're pretty simple. Don't be surprised if you're like, this is kind of on the simple side, Tina. What are you training us? Because it is very simple. It's not the complexity of the action steps that get you ahead of the game. It's the consistency. Even if you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over. So I'm going to pull up a screenshot and we're just going to go over this list. And let's see, I believe this is it. Can you guys see this? Yes? Okay. So number 1, 20 minutes of learning. And I say learning because it used to say 20 minutes of reading, but now people learn in all kinds of different ways. So I figure if you're going to read a book, if you're going to listen to something on Audible, if you're going to research DNA or look up the word nutrigenomics or spend 20 minutes checking out other supplement companies so you have a great comeback when people ask why we're different. Whatever it is that you need to learn, you can do that in 20 minutes a day, okay? There are some great books you can read. I know our team pages have tons and tons of books. We have a training page that has just a list a mile long of great books. The next one is networking group. Now, in For me personally, most of my business has been built through networking groups. I went to a Friday lunch every Friday for 6 years. That was my thing. Every Friday, I'd meet all my girlfriends at this luncheon, and there was about 40 people there, and people would bring new people, right? So I became a regular in this networking group. Now we're new here in Scottsdale. We already found 4 networking groups to join. I love that. Now, because I started this a long time ago, there wasn't a lot of online groups. I know nowadays there are online groups you can join. You don't have to go out in public and do this. You could do this online. You could, to me, any group of 4 or more people meeting together really is a networking group. Sometimes if I just go have lunch with my girlfriends and we end up talking to the table next to us, we're networking. To me, that is a networking group. I try to do something once a day that would be considered some form of networking. Add 20 new social media friends. Now, social media is any platform. I use Facebook exclusively because I really don't get how the other platforms work at this point. So if I say Facebook, I'm really saying any social media will do, but I use Facebook. And here's how easy it is, 20 a day. Now, be careful with Facebook, because if you copy and paste the same message to 20 people, they don't like that, and then they get mad and put you in jail, right, for a few days. So you're gonna have to change the message by 1 or 2 words every time, okay? I'm just gonna give you an example. You go to Facebook and you find a group that has people in that group that you think would like our product. Groups about personal training, groups about working out, groups about athletics, groups about other supplements, groups about genetics, groups about DNA, groups about science, I mean, there's just thousands and thousands other network marketing groups. And here's what you do. You go through it and you friend 20 of those people. Okay, now you can't do it all at once because again, Facebook gets mad if you do that. But as the day goes on, you could do 5 here, 5 there, 5, right? A couple different times a day. But just adding them on Facebook is really not good enough. That's not going to grow your business, but this will. Hey, Bob, saw you on the list of people that Facebook suggested I become friends with. Hope that's cool with you. How are things? Pretty simple. Could you do that 20 times a day? Yes, you could do that 20 times a day, no problem. So adding 20 friends is the goal, but reaching out to them somehow is an even better, right? That just increases your odds of doing the next one, which is a text intro. Now the text intro to me is any one of our scripts. We have probably 7 different scripts out there. John Malot's script is, hey buddy, how's it going? Let me tell you about this cool new thing you're not gonna wanna miss out on, right? That's pretty much his script. So when I say a text intro, I mean specifically about what we do. Purposely to introduce this some way to one of those people. Now, of those 20 people that you sent messages to, I'm sure 3 a day are going to respond something. You're gonna say, how are things? And they're gonna say, things are great. And you're gonna say, hey, I was wondering why Facebook suggested we be friends. We must be in a similar group. Or we must have a similar interest. Maybe we must have a similar occupation. Whatever it is that you say to get them back and say, oh, I'm into personal training, I'm into supplements, I'm into health. And then you just say, oh, that must be why they friended us. I'm also into health. What's your favorite way to stay healthier? You know, don't be obvious about it, but you can do that 20 times a day. At least 3 people out of 20 are going to respond to you. And that's your text intro, meaning the purpose of the conversation you have is to intro them to you enough so whereas they ask you at some point in time what you do, or hey, can you do me a favor? Hey, because you're into health, could you do me a favor and watch this 90-second video for me? I know it's gonna sound silly, but I actually challenged myself to send it to 3 people a day, and because you're chatting with me, I thought you might be one of them. No one's gonna be like, no, dude, you're an asshole, stay away. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, sure, why not? It's 90 seconds, right? So the text intro, which leads to a video, which leads to 3 new contacts show the video. Now, when I say a new contact, I mean, it could be your best friend from high school. If you haven't shown them the video before, that would be considered a new contact that you're showing the video to. Another thing you can do on Facebook, which I just found really cool, is you can go, there's a button that says memories. It's on the left-hand side at the bottom. It says memories. And from the memories, if you click on it, it'll show you what memories you shared a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago from that date. If you scroll down, it'll also tell you the friends that you added a year ago on this exact day, or 5 years ago, or 10 years, whatever. I don't know, is Facebook 10 years old? I'm not sure. But it'll give you down to the date, and you could so easily share a memory with a friend. Hey, remember us from a year ago? Remember we did this? So you can reconnect with people, and that can be your new contact that you share the video with. Or you can go into that list of people that you already friended a year ago and say, hey, Bob, I can't believe we friended each other a year ago and we've never had a conversation. What are you up to? Right? That is an easy way to start a conversation, right? And then naturally, okay, so start a social media chat, live chat. Well, there's 3 here. So now, if you do it right and you've got your 20 that you send it to, 3 are gonna end up chatting with you. The same 3 or possibly a different 3 are gonna end up with you being able to do that text intro into, hey, will you do me a favor? Hey, will you check this out? Which will lead to another 3 that you can show the video to. So you could literally knock off 9 of these items, 10 of these items with one or 2 sittings that takes literally minutes. Okay, and if you're doing that every day, you're gonna have at least 5 follow-ups. Would you agree? Minimum, you're gonna have 5 follow-ups. I think I forgot this one up here that says social media entry about the DNA or the business every day. Now, when I say this, I don't mean post your canister on your page every single day. I'm saying mention something about the business or something about DNA every day. You could be like Sherry Denning, taking a jog and saying, I went an extra half a mile today, thanks to my Euphoria. That's a social media post that mentions, right? Or you could say, hey, I bought a new car today. Thanks, Euphoria. Thanks for the extra check I made this month. Or you could take a picture of something you're doing cool and just happen to have the canister in the background. That's fine. I'm not saying you need to. I'm saying when you're posting on social media, be purposeful about it. You can be purposeful about it without, when I say stuff like if I'm out with my family and it has nothing to do with DNA or the business, I'll put a picture of me and my family, and then I'll add something at the bottom like, working from home really has some benefits. Here we are on a Tuesday afternoon. So when I say something, just post something with the intention for somebody to ask you a question about it that could possibly lead to a conversation about the DNA or the business. Okay. So if you're doing 5 follow-ups a day, you should be doing a 3-way call or a webinar or a Zoom and bringing someone on it with you every single day. There is a Millennial Mondays. In fact, tomorrow night, I think it was said Tom and Lori Court and John Malott. Well, that's going to be great. So on Tuesdays, Kelly and I do one. I know there's other teams that are doing them on Wednesdays. John Malott and Kyle do Thursdays. Ruth Main's got one on the weekends. I think Sherry's got one on the week. I mean, every day, it is very possible for you to jump on a Zoom or a webinar with a guest every single day of the week. And if not, jump on a 3-way call. Now, a 3-way call is not because the person who sponsored you has all day to do your job for you. A 3-way call is just to verify what you've already told this person. It's the third-party credibility. You might be prospecting your best friend from, 7th grade, and you loaned him $5 back then, and you haven't paid him back yet. So now he's never going to listen to a word you say about business ever. You need a third party to validate what's happening here that's not you. That's what a 3-way call is about. So don't get on a 3-way call and say, hey, upline, this is this guy Joe. I just met him at the gym 10 minutes ago, and I told him that we have this really cool product, and here he is, and hand you the phone. That's not what the 3-way call is about. Make sure they've seen a video, at least the 90-second video. Make sure they've asked enough questions so you know they're interested, and then get them on the 3-way call. And you can absolutely do that at least once a day, right? So of these things that you do every single day, now I left a space here because some of you are doing things that are working awesome. Put that in there. You can change. This is not set in stone. This worked for me through 12 years and 4 companies. But I've changed this too because times change. I did not start a Facebook chat in my first list like this. It was get on the phone, which still works just fine. So it's not set in stone, but here's how you do it. So then every time you do something, you put an X mark or a little chat in, or you put a little X mark, right? Here's the day here's the first of the month, the second, the third, fourth, put a little X. At the end of the day, you take your amount of X's divided by, I think it's still 23, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20, 20. I have 22 on here. Okay, so you take your little amount of X's divided by 22, and it will give you a percentage. So 17 out of 22 is 68%. Well, now I know at the end of the day, I worked 68% hard, right? So you put your percentage here at the end of the day, and you will get a great idea. And then when you enroll people, you put a little check mark here at the bottom, whether they're a customer or affiliate, doesn't matter. But I will tell you this, by the end of your first month, you're gonna know how hard you work, okay? Now, do some of these say 22%? Yep, they do, because I don't do all this stuff every single day, but I very rarely work less than 60%. And here's why. Because I'm gonna go with 2 to 3 years of doing this. My goal is 1 person a week, minimum. 1 person. If I'm working this for 2 to 3 hours at a time, a day, 2 hours a day, and I can't get 5 or 6 people interested, I'm doing something wrong, right? So my goal is at least 1 person per week. If I work over 70%, in my first couple of years, if I worked over 70 to 75% just about every day, I always hit my goal, always. The weeks that I did not hit my goal, I would look at my list and go, oh, I'm at 42% for like 8 days straight. That's why, right? So this will give you a great gauge of what you need. Now that I'm older, more experienced in network marketing, I only have to work at 60% to almost double my goal. Now my goal is 2 people a week, and I almost get it all every week at 60% or higher. Because as you get better and as you learn more, but in the beginning, I think we're all watching Eric Worre's how to get 20 prospects in 30 days. And he talks about the airplane taking off. If you're just puttering down here and you never actually give it full throttle 100%, you're not going to get very far. So for 30 days, I know you can do it for 30 days. Give it 80%, 90%, 100% every day. Okay. And that's it. I know it sounds simple, but it really is that simple. It is the consistency, and I've been doing it for 12 years. It's the consistent actions that will build your business. Here's what's going to happen when you start this today. You're going to start this today, and here's what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. You're going to find out what you're really good at, and you're going to find out what you really suck at. Because all the things you're great at that you like doing are going to check mark first thing in the morning, and all the things you really don't want to do are going to be blank day after day after day after day. And then you'll know. So when your sponsor or your business partner says, what do you need help with? You can look at your list and go, see these blanks? That's what I need help with. Here's another tool. When I have teammates that say, oh, I work every day, I work so hard, I'm spending 3 to 4 hours at this on a daily basis and nothing's happening and nothing's going, the first thing I say is, show me your list. If they can't show me this, I'm gonna assume they're not working. They're not working it. Because we teach this. There's Sherry's got hers, she's holding it up. This is what we teach on our team. So I can hold people accountable to doing these. If you're doing these activities, I promise you your business is gonna grow. You cannot take this kind of consistent action every day and not grow. So it's also a great sheet for accountability. This is how I held myself accountable for years because I didn't have a business partner in one of my companies. My upline left immediately and the upline above her was awful and I didn't want to talk to them. So this held me accountable to myself for years in one of my companies, right? So it's a tool for growth, for learning about what you're great at and what you need help with. It's a tool for accountability. and consistency. And if you start doing this, I promise you, your team's going to grow. Your enrollments are going to grow. You're going to start getting great at learning what to say that works, what to say that it doesn't quite work as well. And if you're doing it all through text and Facebook Messenger, then you're going to have all the proof, because you can save that stuff. We used to do this by the phone, and then I would say, crap, I can't remember what I told her. She liked it, but I can't remember what it was. Okay, this older people have those memories. So this is a great way, text and Facebook Messenger, to keep track of it all. And you can even print them out and highlight what worked really well per person. So that's it. That's the training for today. That's all I got for you guys. But I did see some questions. I'm going to go through them really quick. Can you add a link in Team Empire? You know what? I can, and I also have it. Let me show you where it is. For those of you who want to download it, or I know we will have this available. So we have this right here. It's called Team Gladiator Training. And if you go to Kickstart, if you touch this button right here that says Kickstart, it's right here. Daily action plan, right there. There's some videos in here about your daily action plan. In fact, this training was already recorded that I did it right here. So here's the training if you want to go over it. Here's the actual list of 22 things. Okay, so you can download it there. I can also put the PDF or the image version of this into the Team Empire page. I will also, hold on, I'm getting something from Kyle. Got it. I can also, I'll put it in Team Empire. I'll also put it in Team Global, VIP Global page, so everybody will be able to get this. I still use pen and paper. I do have it in an Excel spreadsheet if somebody wants it and then wants to modify it or put it up however you do that kind of stuff. I have it. My email is Tina Malsom, M-A-L-S-O-M, @yahoo.com. If you want me to send you the Excel version of it or any, just email me and I'll just email you back a copy of it, or Facebook message, because I think I can send it through Facebook message too. There's no reason anybody can't get a copy of this. Okay, I'm going to unmute Kyle. I got to find Kyle. I'm going to unmute him, and then I think that's it for me tonight. I think that is all I got. All right, Kyle, you are unmuted.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Well, first and foremost, it wasn't a spotty spot. Otherwise, I wanted to introduce and edify Tina. My goodness, guys, if you don't understand, Tina and Kelly are one of the 3 creators in the entire company at this point. And this methodology of consistent activity on a consistent basis is your key component. I mean, consistency is your king in this space, right? So if you think about this, what Tina's sharing with you, majority of everything you see on that checklist right there, I love, because you're able to go down there and check those babies off and actually monitor yourself and see it. One thing is the questions I ask myself: would I promote myself or demote myself, even fire my business from the activity I did today? And again, you can do this on a spare time, part-time basis around your company, around your business, around whatever you're doing around your life. But guys, it's about staying focused on your consistent actions and activities every single day. And majority of everything you see on that list is money-making activities. We call that MMA. That's what's going to generate the income. That's what's going to generate the cash flow coming towards you, because that's giving people the experience in bringing people towards you. Even if you say, well, I don't know anybody. Well, guess what? You have access to the internet. You have access to social media. Whether you have 10 friends or 5,000 friends on Facebook or Instagram, you can go out and start reaching out and find people and just let them know it's somebody of interest. And by the way, guess what? I have something that you may be interested in. And then piggybacking off of that, when she was talking about, sending out those text messages, we've got the most phenomenal app that you have with RapidFunnel. If you're not utilizing it, download it today, get with your sponsor and or your support team leader, download that, learn how to utilize it. Guys, this is the most effective way to be able to share and spread the net out to the masses to bring people into you. Again, this is a business where we're utilizing technology to get to the masses even faster. And whoever shares this with the most people wins, period. So again, just you just gotta look at the numbers. Let the numbers work for you, and you'll start seeing the numbers multiplying as long as you start doing the right proper activity. And I love what Tina's done here today. Next week, we do have a fantastic opportunity where a gentleman has been in the industry 20 plus years, is an author of many books in regards to prospecting and edification, things of that nature. We're gonna be doing a training next Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific. And you're going to meet a gentleman that just come aboard here with the company that we're so excited to have aboard. So you'll meet him next week's training. So make sure you tune in and bring everybody aboard. But Tina, thank you so much for all you do. You and Kelly are such a godsend in this, not just this company in this organization, but in the entire industry. We need more people of your caliber. And again, we're bringing people on like you again, but we're at this tipping point where we'll start attracting, because we have all the pieces of the puzzle in place. We have everything that we need. We have now just officially in 2020 launched the company. Up until this point, we have been really putting all the necessary pieces of the puzzle together to where this magnificent masterpiece is in place today. Now all we have to do is just let people know it exists. So Tina, right back to you, end this call, and thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Kyle. If it weren't for Kyle, none of us would know what's happening ever, because all the images that you see, all the flyers, the digital flyer, that's all Kyle. We would all be like, pencil and paper if it weren't for him. So thank you so much. I'll be on the call next week. Feel free to join us on our Tuesday night webinar tomorrow night. Tom Fort and John Malott, which will be a great, and it's a perfect opportunity to get your checklist out and invite those first 3 people. All right, you guys have a great Sunday. Thank you for jumping on.